Welcome to my project ideas. This is an ongoing series on Google Firebase integration in SAP UI5. And in this particular video, we'll learn how to do CRUD operation using SAP UI5 and Google Firestore. Google Firestore is a database provided by Google Firebase, and the steps are very simple. You need to create a collection in Firestore, and the collection is like a table, and within the collection, you create multiple documents, and document is like a raw data for a table. And then after the creation of the collection, you edit rules. By default, the rules are created in Google Firebase to not allow any edit apart from read. So we'll disable that and we'll make everything editable. But ultimately, you will have to learn how to use the rules effectively so that no one who is not allowed can access your data. And once you do the first step, then you do a basic form creation and table binding in SAP UI5, and thereafter you perform CRUD operation. Before we start with the actual coding part, so we have also written an article for you. In this particular article, we have mentioned all the possible steps that you need to perform in terms of coding. So all the codes have been added here, and also we have added the required screenshots that we are going to discuss in this particular video. Yeah, so we'll jump back to our Google Firebase. So within Firebase, we'll start to create a database. So the collection will be called as organization because that is something we have already, defined in our controller. So let me just copy and paste it. So this collection name is the one that we are going to use. And as of now, we'll just create a document which will not use anyhow. So we can delete it actually. Yeah. So we have a blank collection, and within the rules, let it open up. So you see, we do not have any restriction. We allow read and write for everybody. By default, it will be like this if false. So you need to remove this particular code. Otherwise, what will happen that your Firebase application will start giving error that you are not allowed to perform this operation, something like that. So once this is done, then you can come back to your UI5 application. And within the UI5 application, if you see that the structure is something that we have already discussed in our previous video. So the very first thing that we do is like we add a script, the scripts for Google Firebase. And once you're done with that, then within JS folder, you create a file for firebase.js and define all the configuration here itself. Also, you have like a component file where you mention the Firebase model. Otherwise, you will not be able to access it, right? The file that you have created here. So once you are done with Firebase model, once your model is global, and also we have like created two pages. One is for login and one is for the page where we'll perform CRUD operation. So login and main page. So regarding that, routing is configured within the manifest file. Fine. So these three things are already done, and we have also discussed this in our previous video. So you can always refer that video because there we have also mentioned how exactly you write code for login. So that is something we are not going to discuss right now. So if you see, we have login.view, login.controller. Here we have mentioned all the required steps for login. So this thing will skip right now. And like once you do the login, you navigate to this main page, router.nav to main. And we'll discuss the main view now and the main controller. So within main view, we have a simple form at the top where we are taking the organization name and we have button to add the organization in the backend. And if I see the code for that, it's a simple function where we get the organization name from the input box. We get our Firestore function, and when then we call our collection and send our data set there. And the return, we show the value as successful, clear the input box. In case of error, we handle the same error here, right? So in the same way, we have also done binding for table where we have created a table binding here The ID is something that is auto created, right, in the backend. Same ID will show in the UI. And then we have the name of the organization. And in case we want to update, we'll have an input box for that, and we'll perform some operations. So if you see, the ID is the something that is coming from backend. The name is the organization name that we have created. New name is something that will be sending to update. And click of update, the update will happen. On click of delete, on delete, the deletion will happen, right? And if I see the code, so in on init we have just initiated the router. On after entering is the part where we are writing the code for read operation, because the read operation will not work in on init. And after the view is rendered, then only you can do the bindings, right? And then we are here, we are for the read, we are also calling the instance of Firestore. Then we are calling the collection, and whatever data is coming, the data and the ID, all together we are setting in the model. We have created a blank model, and then we are setting the model in the table view. That's it. So this is for the read operation. And if I go for the update operation, what we do, whatever data is selected, the name we get fetch from the UI. And whatever the values there in terms of the new one, we fetch from the UI again, the new name. And then we get the instance of the Firestore, and then we call the backend with update. Whatever is selected, we send in the backend, and we all send the data with that. And they are gonna, ultimately the org name will be changed, right? That are the things that we are doing here. And in case of delete, same thing happens. We fetch the data. This time we fetch the ID also, and then we try to delete the ID with a simple firestore dot document, whatever document name is there, and passing the ID, and then delete operation is called. So in this way, we are performing all the operations here. And we have also mentioned these codes on the article, so you can have a reference from there. And if I come to this particular view, and if I try to add org1 in the backend, let's go to the backend also. No collection is there. So you try to click add. It is added successfully. In the backend, I have to refresh once. And you'll see an organization is added here, and org1 is added. Let's add more, org2. In the backend, we have org2 also, right? Now we'll try to, the read operation is already happening. So we'll make this as org3. Org name will be changed to org3. Update is successful. Fine. The name is changed, but the ID remains the same. ID remains the same, but the name is changed to org3. And we can also delete it out, right? It is deleted. And it is gone in backend also. So in this way, we can perform all the CRUD operations on Firebase using SAP UI5. In case you have any issue, you can always ask in the comment section. Thank you.